Premier Wen Jiabao's comments rose more than a few eyebrows over the weekend while on an inspection tour of China's southwest Sichuan province. And in the wake of China's second quarter GDP, which is the slowest quarterly growth in 3 years, Mr. Wen helped everyone to a big dose of realism regarding China's economic health. And China's Xinhua news agency reports that he said this: the country's economic rebound is not yet stable and the economic hardship may continue for a period. But perhaps not surprisingly, he didn't let that negative mood stick around so much. He also added this, saying the economic growth rate is still within the government target range set earlier this year, which is an annual growth rate of 7.5%, and that stabilization policies are working. And if you ask many of the well-known investment banks out there like HSBC and Citibank, they echo what Beijing is saying and believe that China's growth has hit the bottom. With that said, China bears do exist too, and that includes Swiss-based investment bank Lombard Odier. Take a listen.
China is a single propeller economy based purely on government investment. So when the government pushes the pedal, the number goes up. But this really masks the structural weakness that's inside China. Premier Wen has been preparing the world and his people for a much slower China over the coming years. So I think we should be prepared that over the next 3 to 5 years, the growth rate in China can potentially be 6%, not 8%.
But China has been doing a lot to make sure growth doesn't slow even more. On top of interest rate cuts and cuts to bank reserve requirements, or triple Rs, the Financial Times reports that Beijing says it'll now cut taxes on the profits that foreign companies repatriate back to their country of origin by up to 50%. And that's an effort to entice more foreign investment as China's economy cools. Now, we did reach out to 3 investment banks to confirm this. Citibank was the only one who replied, saying their guys are also looking at that same report and that there's not much else to add. Looking ahead, it's expected Beijing will have 1, if not 2, more interest rate cuts and just as many cuts to banks' triple Rs by the end of the year. Ray Minasencio, CNN, Hong Kong.